Every year I come back to the Hunter Valley, retracing the lost paths of the South Maitland Railway. Today I'm in Bellbird, just outside Cessnock, where in 1923 a disaster shook the coal mining world. Well, here we are, guys, at the Bellbird Mine Disaster Memorial with the 21 miners that were caught in the fire in 1923, which was the reason why the mine was closed down. Shortly we'll be walking the railway line and see if we can get a little bit of a look at where the mine used to be. But pretty much this is the memorial park, and over there across the road is where the mine was, which was closed down. The memorial park here in Bellbird in Cessnock, well, next to Cessnock. Right, so here we are on the line into the Bellbird area. We have Cessnock in that direction, and then in that direction we've got the Pelton mine, and we're just going to do a little bit of walk along. Don't know how exciting it'll be. This is a cold visit. Done them a few times where I haven't done any prior research. I've just turned up to have a look at the area. I have done a number of other videos on the SMR, Neath, Western. We also did the Cessnock branch. So this is the last little leg into the Pelton mine. I am currently walking away from that direction, but just wanted to get a bit of a lie of the land. The rail here is pretty much the same as everywhere else on the SMR. Even though this area here is actually owned by Ozstar. So this little section of the line isn't run, or wasn't part of the SMR section in later years. This was the Ozstar section into the Pelton mine. SMR section takes over a little bit further up the line, closer to Cessnock, more where the Cessnock branch line. We always seem to visit this time of year at extreme weather. Last year it was raining and I got absolutely drenched. This year we've got 36-degree heat. I don't know, that's typical for the area at this time of year, but yeah, it always seems to be extremes. We're just going to go up a little bit further. There seems to be some sort of concrete blocks up here. So we'll go as far as the concrete blocks. Looking at the rail itself, it's much like the rest of the line. It's nearly every third sleeper here is a metal track tie, and the wooden ones are very much gone. And as you can see, the vegetation growth is quite extensive. I do like to try and walk along the track as best I can, but depending on the vegetation and stuff, it gets a bit tricky. Alright, Well, there's a curve there, which we won't follow, because I do want to head back towards Pelton Mine. That curves eastward and ends up joining up over near the Cessnock area. Although there is some ruins here, I just saw. Which may be part of the old mine structure. Got some concrete blocks here. I don't know if they're related to something. Somebody in the comments might be able to tell me. I'm sure they are. But just here, there's 4 pillars. So if anybody knows what they're about, put it in the comments. They look like they're concrete construction with brick toppers, metal reinforcement through the centre, and they've had some sort of timber formwork to form them. The fact that they're that triangular shape means that they were probably holding a fair bit of load. So more than likely, you know, something heavy on the top. Alright, we might walk over this way a little bit. Just grabbed a thumbnail. We'll walk over this way a little bit and see if we can see where or what that may have been associated with. There is a little track along here. Although there is a cutting through there. Sorry guys, I'm just getting my bearings a little bit, looking at the tells in the land. You can see here there's a bit of an embankment, and then we've got a lower lying section here, and that lines up straight up with our 4 pillars. There's also a concrete block there, so we might head along here a little bit. Hopefully I won't be attacked by rabid Tasmanian tigers or red-bellied blacks. Alright, so that's all blocked there. There's a little bit of concrete stuff here. Could just be dumped, but that looks like it's had some metal reinforcing on it. Head over here a little bit. Now, I didn't do a lot of research on Bellbird mine prior to this, and I'm sure I'll do a voiceover or some sort of on-screen commentary, on-screen visuals about the history, but not much about the history of that, I don't think. Four-cylinder engine. And it's not BMC, so I don't know anything about it. This area here is flat and also has some undulations that tell me that it could have been part of the mine process. Looks like it's been filled in. The Bellbird coal mine opened in the early 1900s, part of the Burrioning coal industry that fueled the Hunter region. By the 1920s it was a major producer, vital to the local economy, but on September the 22nd, 1923, a routine shift turned fatal. At just after 1 PM, smoke started billowing from number 1 workings. Rescue teams rushed in, but the tunnels were soon choked with poisonous gas. 21 men lost their lives, fathers, brothers, sons, whose stories would be lost in the rubble. In the aftermath, only 15 bodies were recovered. 6 more remain entombed, their families left without closure. This tragedy sparked new safety laws, the Mines Rescue Act of 1925, forever changing mining in New South Wales. Today, the ground holds echoes of this disaster. As I walk these rails, the only markers are subtle undulations, broken concrete, and brick fragments, the mine long sealed beneath time. Then we've got a access road. So we might head back over to the railway line. Because I'm sure me walking along a dirt track, talking stuff I don't know anything about, is not very exciting. I might just jump to when we get to the track, guys. Alright, it wasn't soon after I turned that off that I started to go across the beaten track a little bit. Literally and figuratively. Beat the unbeaten trail, as it were. There's a lot of fire, charcoal and stuff here. They've probably just been burning rubbish. Alright, there's our rail. Now we're heading back towards the Pelton mine. Now the Pelton mine was active until 2021 when they announced its closure, and it's now 2026. So that's how much vegetation and growth and disrepair happens in about a 5 or a 6 year period. The signs are burning all along here too. Lots of charcoal amongst the gravel. Not like Western though. Western had a lot of burnt sleepers from the huge grass fire that they had a number of years ago. This is not as burnt. And there's the memorial park just there that we were just at the beginning of the video, and the old fella living next door selling his watermelons. Pretty good deal, $10 for a huge watermelon. Probably growing in the backyard. Good luck to them, I say. If you live on a main road and you've got passing traffic and you've got a big garden, why not sell your excess stuff? Alright, it's a bit of shade. I have to say that's welcome after the beating sun. I'm currently wearing a hat. That was the only hat I could find that my wife has said she won't be seen with me in public. Give you a quick look. It is a bit of a fashion statement, but it keeps the sun off me. And I'm not here for my looks. If I was here for my looks, I wouldn't have any subscribers. Alright, here we have quite a lot of rail that's been pulled up. Now, obviously this probably would have been, there's a lot of rail just sitting there for nothing. So there's probably some sort of yard that was here. Quite a flat little area. Again, guessing guys. What do we call it? Railway archaeology. Have a flat space and we've got the main line. Just going to have a look over here, see what we can see. There's some sleepers. And I think that's our dirt road again, through there. So, more than likely, still part of the Bellbird mine property, Bellbird mine area. Now the Bellbird mine obviously wasn't closed in 2021, it was closed in 1923. So we've had 100 years of growth. Uprights. Back out in the sun. We'll go a little bit further along and see what else we can see. And if it's pretty much the same, then I'll jump in the car and we'll head down towards the Pelton mine area a bit more. There's still rail through there. Still rail through there. Just imagine like a double-headed 48 class coming through here, pulling through coal. Single line, so they would have been working on a staff, and pretty sure the staff exchange for this section would have been neath. For those that don't know what a staff exchange was, it was pretty much a triangular hoop or a circular hoop that would be given to the driver or the fireman of any one locomotive, and they were the only one allowed in that section at that time, and the staff was the assurance that they were the only ones in that section, and then that would be given to the neath signalman as they went past. Right, so that's going to head straight down to the Pelton mine. So I'm not walking it because I think it's quite a ways. We might end up jumping in the car and picking this up a little bit further down the line, and hopefully there's something there to see instead of a big closed gate that says Ozstar, do not enter Pelton mine, no trespassing. Because if that's the case, guys, that'll be the end of the video. We are along the track a little bit. I've come along the road, and yeah, it was pretty much Ozstar property now. They're very obviously, the mine is a dangerous area. They are in the progress of refilling it in, and have been since 2022, and obviously making it safe. So they don't want people like me tramping around with my GoPro, which is fair enough. But this is the mine line over the road. Which is pretty cool. There you go. We might have a bit of a look down here, as long as I don't die. It's a little bit of a gully. Got a wombat hole. And do I want to venture forth? Don't know if I do. Bushes. There we go, that's nice. I like that. There we go. So there's the bridge to the Pelton mine, and I'm not crossing it. I'm not that crazy. Alright, head back down. I've got the camera on because I'll probably stack it. And that's always funny. I'm going to leave Mr. Wombat alone and go this way. Some people ask me why I always wear long sleeves when I'm walking along a track in 35-degree day, and it's mainly because when I'm doing this stuff I don't get covered in ticks and leeches. In the final part of this journey I visit Pelton, a mine that in itself closed just a few years ago in 2023. Slowly it too is being sealed, another chapter in the region's coal heritage fading into memory. This is more than just a railway or a mine. It's a legacy of the community that built itself on the rails of hard work, tragedy and perseverance. Alright, a little bit further along from the bridge is this memorial in memory of those who lost their lives since the opening of the coal mine in 2006. Philip Grant, Jamie Alexander Mitchell and Craig Leslie Hugo. Passed away Shane Adams O'Hearn, Newcastle Walls End Coal Company's stone stands as a monument to the workforce of the Pelton Colliery complex and the memory of those who lost their lives since the opening in 1916. It was very sad. Very hard job. Handmade bricks from the Pelton Colliery. My hat goes off to anybody who works in the mining industry. I couldn't imagine working that hard. I mean, not that I'm adverse to hard work, but that's just all next level. There's the Ozstar entrance. From here on it's trespassers and there's cameras and stuff. I'm not going in there, but yeah, it was just interesting to see. Then we've got railway line over there, and that's it pretty much. And here's a mine worker here. Alright, I might head over to the other side there and have a look and see what the railway line's like. Here's me venturing down a main road. It's very exciting. I did look on my map and I noticed that the railway line extends outside of the Pelton mine property and over into the left over there. And I'm just going to have a quick look up here and see again the lie of the land and what this situation is. We've got a deep cutting, possibly for the overhead power lines. Which may or may not have been railway related. It looks like it could have been. Water pipes. And on the other side of the road, we've got similar situation here. Big water pipe. It's just a culvert. Nothing super major. And authorised vehicles. So that's pretty much the end of the line, guys, for the Pelton. As I said earlier, we're going to head off to Neath now and then on to North Kurri Kurri. And that will pretty much be walking the rails of history now from Pelton all the way through to North Kurri Kurri, visiting Pelton, Bellbird, Cessnock Junction, Caledonia, Western and North Kurri Kurri. So if you haven't seen any of those videos, check them out. I'll stick them on a playlist, probably called South Maitland Railway. And yeah, it'd be a good little bit of history. Obviously I need to do East Greta and Maitland itself, but anyway, they're future videos. Thanks for watching.